Now we am boy.
What's up, guys? What's up? How you doing? Jesus Christ, how you doing, guys? I hope you're having a lovely evening. And life of a YouTuber. You're about to go to bed, and you're about to call it a night, and you already did 2 streams, and you're like, that's it for the day. And then people text and say, are you gonna do the Raheem video? And you're looking at the time, you're like, this is around 10. But anyway, we do what it is. It is what it is, man. It's what we signed for. So, guys, look. In about few minutes, I'm going to be joined by 2 people, certified and safe. These guys are from Twitter. I'm going to be joined, and obviously, let me just read the comments before the guys come in. Adam, how you doing, man? How you doing, Adam? How you doing, Charlie? How you doing, Charlie? Tony, man, how you doing, man? Respect to you. We should do a video together, Tony. And Tony, tell me, how do you feel about this Raheem news? Are you unhappy? Are you unhappy? And the guys in the comments, tell me, is Raheem a legend of the club? Because that's another argument people are having on Twitter as we speak. So let's go through these comments. Generally, I can't wait for tomorrow. Got my Norway flag on. Yeah, Charlie, cheers to you, man. I know you have your Norway flag on, and I know you're going to send me videos. I need a bit of coffee. As I said, I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep on the space. I was on space and I fell asleep. We had some savage people on the space, man. Some people went crazy and mad. Singing the blues, man. How you doing? I am good, man. I'm good. How you doing yourself? How is your weekend going? Guys, how is your Saturday going? Like, what are you doing? I know you're watching this, but how is your Saturday going? Anything that you did today that was interesting? Imagine if they did streams like they showing ex-girlfriends in boyfriends like t-shirts, it would be off. The wood, man. Imagine. It's always like that. But as always, man, it's a pleasure. Let me just add my boy Veta to the game with a nice hairstyle, beard, well done, looking sharp. Veta, how have you been, man? We had a stream, and I thought that was my last stream for the day, but it looks like life as a YouTuber, it never lets you sleep. Some people are texting me, it's like, where is that Raheem stream? I was like, we did a Raheem stream like 2 days ago or yesterday, and now we're back here again. What's the fee, Veta? I'm looking at 47.5. Somebody says with add-ons 50, but I think 50 is the fee because everybody keeps saying there's add-ons to reach it 50.
Yeah, I think it is 50, but I mean, you did tease about a possible 3rd stream this morning, so you already knew. I think you already knew something was going to happen. So.
Yeah, we did a goodbye one. Goodbye was that yesterday, and quite enough now. When I was doing this one, I was like, what the hell am I going to say now? Because we said goodbye to him, and then we were talking about fees. I was like, what else is there now? But as if the audience is looking for the stream, yeah, like you have to do it. Certified and safe. How you doing?
Yes, brothers. What we're saying. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah, I can hear you. I was just telling
what's good, my bro? Can you hear me?
Good, safe, man. Good to hear you, safe. Good to hear you, safe. I was just telling Veda that just yesterday we were doing the goodbye Raheem stream. So when safe, you told me that when I told you we go on live and you said maybe let's go on space. I went on space. Then 3 more people texted me and say, are you gonna go live for this? I was like, well, there's a video already us saying goodbye to Raheem from yesterday. Like, how many videos can we do? I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You see what I have on here, right? If I'm dressed in black. I think that represents the kind of mood I'm in. Yes, I've accepted that he's got to go. I understand the business moves to it, but. And this is a little bit of a preview. I was actually saving to do this on my show, but I'm gonna be real with you guys. Sterling has been one of my favorite players, and the reason why is because no matter how difficult, how often this guy falls or trips up, he literally gets back up and competes again. Like, that's one of the things that I've always loved about him as a player for Manchester City. And he came here under tons of scrutiny. He was being slandered. He was a new narrative. They tried to characterize him when he left Liverpool.
He was caught a snake when he left Liverpool.
Yeah, man. So So all of that, and then with the service that he's put in here while at City, I've backed him. And the nostalgic holding on a little too much is when we really deepen, when we really think about it, it's only him and KDB that are of the players prior to Pep coming here, and those are the two longest standing players too that have been trying to get that elusive final cup that we all want. So I just wanted more than one possible body to do it. I think he deserved it based off the work, but hey, when we do raise that elusive trophy, it's going to be without him, man.
Look, before I get to certified, I want to listen to Safe, because Safe, welcome to the stream, my brother. And I know you're already writing stuff there, Safe. So Safe, how do you feel? How do you feel now? You can voice out. I know texting is a bit difficult when we are all texting in the group. It's very hard for us to express what we are feeling. So how do you feel about this move? Do you think we're losing? Because for me, I think I've started going towards certified side that we are losing pace. I was looking at our even, and this is gonna make you laugh, Safe and certified and better. I'm a FIFA merchant, right? And now I'm looking at my next Man City team. There's no pace, and Raheem was my cheat code. Even one of my friends sent me a text just a few minutes ago, Safe and certified. He's like, Patrick, what are you gonna do now? Raheem is gone. I'll whoop your ass. You know what I mean? So he knows I'm a Raheem merchant. So how do you think, man, where pace is gone, Safe? So are we worried? Should we say it's okay? We're going to have a new system? I think I think Safe's internet has gone. Yeah, I think we lost him. What about certified?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm more on Veta's side when it comes to Sterling. You know, I think if there was a scale to kind of like say the sides, I think we all know Kyle's on the opposite. Then you got me there that wanted to stay, and then Patrick. Patrick, I feel you wanted Sterling to stay as well. I might be wrong, but I feel like you're.
I did for the sake of he's sort of a different winger, because I also look at it on the sake of football, but I also wanted him to stay I wanted him to stay as just as a guy who's got experience, because he's been here for so long. He knows the Pep system, but I am worried about pace. I don't know if it's just me. Sané left, right? Right now, the wingers we have are so similar. They're all very technical, very gifted technical players. You can also play that way. I have seen teams that are just technical. Remember the Barcelona teams used to just be technical players, not much speed. So, Safe, have you fixed your Siberian internet?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Bro.
Firstly,
Cool,
listen. Thanks for having me on, bro. But listen, I'll be so honest. I'm absolutely gutted to lose Raheem Sterling. I totally admit he was never the best finisher. I totally admit last 2 years were not his best seasons. But you have to understand something, that this like, you know, when people say like, oh, he's gone, so what, let him go, we don't care. I get that point, but at the same time, you have to remember this is the era that is our club's most successful era. So when we look back in time and we reminisce on this Pep era, there's a couple names that we always look at. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling will be one of those names. Whether we like it or not, whether we appreciate him as a player or not, he will be one of the names. Secondly, listen, I agree on the whole profile thing. In my opinion, I get it, man. Like, we are losing pace, but at the end of the day, like, we have so much technicians in the side. Yeah, I don't think chance creation will be a problem. And its whole idea about the low blocks and breaking down low blocks, we never really had a problem with that either, because last season we saw Sterling wasn't really playing every game, but we were still creating plenty chances. And it was only because of the injuries towards the end of the season that, you know, a lot of tactical tweaks had to be made that we started to struggle. But yeah, again, back to the whole point of Sterling. Listen, I'm really gutted that he had to leave. You could say, you can make a good case that, you know, it was the right time and the right decision, given the fact that obviously he's done great service to us, but at the same time, like there comes a time when you need to refresh. And when you need to move forward, we're moving into a new era. We've got Haaland as the face of our attack right now, which is
Yeah.
really exciting. Everything about our window has been exciting, but at the same time, it's still got wrenching in the same manner to like lose a player like Sterling because like I get it, some people don't have, that emotional connect to players. I totally get it. But for me personally, like Raheem as a player, off the pitch, on the pitch, like, some players you just I don't even like do player reps or anything like that, but they just become your favorites because you just look at them. And I remember like when one of the days Sterling held the captain's armband, I really thought that he'd be here forever. That's what I thought. But obviously things didn't work that way. Last 2 seasons obviously have not worked to the actual plan that we had. So it's fair. I think even in terms of the fee that we've got, that's also fine. Whatever the deal
I
is
don't
with
mind
the
the
club
fee, to
side,
be honest. I don't mind it. I don't mind the
yeah,
fee.
I don't mind the whole business side of it all. And the last point I want to make is I just want to say this one thing, and the last thing is I expect better from my own fan base. That's all I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, fair enough, he's gone, but please don't just negate his entire time at Man City. Don't just make it out like he was just another guy, and don't just make it out like, oh, well, he's not that great or he's not done enough. Yeah, just please don't do that because he has served us well. He was here for like 7 years. He was an integral part of not just any Premier League winning side, a record-breaking Premier League winning side. He's won everything there is to win domestically. He's not got that one trophy, but we as a club don't have it, so we can't really hold it against him. All I ask for my fans is to just, at least remember him in a good way because I'm seeing so much vim for him right now. Like I see fans like, oh, he's a snake for going to Chelsea. Bro, you have to look at it this way. Chelsea are not our rivals. Yeah. Not on a competitive level, maybe in Europe. Yeah. But not domestically and definitely not on a historical basis. Chelsea have never been our rivals. And so the fact that City were comfortable to sell Raheem Sterling to Chelsea shows you that they don't really care about Chelsea like that. They know how much distance there is between us and Chelsea right now. And obviously, they also respected Sterling's wishes to join another club, be closer to home because he's a London boy. So that's all fine. But yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
have to say, man. I'm still a bit heartbroken. I'll be so honest.
Said if I came to preach, man, you're preaching the gospel, man. There's somebody in the comments went like, "Wow," as you were talking, man. Certified, oh no, safe, not certified. Certified did not come with the Bible. It was maybe certified to come with the Bible too. You're right, man. Safe, and I think certified. When we were in space, some Liverpool fans tried to slander. Raheem, remember we took him out. We told him that's not what we do at City. Like, say if we were in a space, better in a space, and Certified was hosting a space, there was some guy who came in from Liverpool trying to say he's a snake, trying to get the City fans on his side, trying to say so we said, now we don't do that here at City. I'm sorry, we don't play like that. You know what I mean? So what were you about to say, Vita?
I mean, Safe said a lot of things that I just want to co-sign. The fact about Sterling while at City, and I mean, I guess it's pretty standard. If you're a City player, you don't quite get the ratings, right? You don't get the ratings from the EPL overall or media. He's definitely he definitely has been an underrated player. I think the things that he's brought to the game, the things that he does on the pitch, has been undervalued, not recognized, and unappreciated. I think us as fans, yes, we're gonna move on, but I think it's gonna be very telling when we look on that pitch next season and don't see a player within our squad that brings what he's brought. And we've also seen it in past seasons when Sterling hasn't started and the game quite hasn't gone our way. But I'm sure within the group chats, we're all like, we need something different. We need to change, get Sterling on the pitch. That's been very consistent. So he's going to be missed there. And I wanted to say this too, with regards to the fan base, because I'm living a little more, I'm listening a little more within these spaces, and I'm hearing it too. The fact that we are getting, the fan base is growing, or maybe more fans are becoming more vocal. I don't like how things are moving with regards to this mirroring rival fans and bashing our own, or ready to like dismiss our own. That's really hasn't been how we move. And I think we need to look at how Manchester City has dealt with Sterling. They didn't banish him to a different club. They actually kind of met his wishes. To your point, Patrick, he's going to Chelsea. Saif mentioned the same thing. He's going to Chelsea. We kind of did the best for both of us, the same way we've done it with our other great players that have played for us over the years. They've left on a free. It's been thank you, see you later. It's not quite on a free, but it's a win-win for both sides. And where Sterling fits for me is he's not that kind of like first run of winning. He's not part of the Mancini run. Yes, he came in with Pellegrini, but even at the end of that, and he's grandfathered over with what Pep has kind of brought in, and he's been so consistent along the way. And one thing that I appreciate so much from him is he's a jazz player. He's a confidence player. He has tricks up his sleeve. He has the skills. That's a part of his game, and he's shown that. But coming to Pep stripped that from him, and rightfully so in terms of meeting within a system. There's so much more to Sterling, but he's done what's best for the team while here, and I've always appreciated that. And we need to. I'm dressed in black, man. I'm giving them. It's a bad day, but I'm giving the man his props. Giving the man his props.
Yeah, let me read these comments. Sorry, let me just read this.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, let me just read these comments because I think people are thinking I'm abandoning them here. So, okay, Jesus Christ, I don't know why my eyes. By the way, guys, don't like I'm crying. It's a sad day, but it's the heat. The heat is bad.
It's okay, man. You can admit you're emotional too. It's okay, Patrick.
Nah, man, it's not okay. You know, right now, I'm about to write a letter to Brighton and say you're about to end my career. You know, Kim doesn't want to let go of that Cucurella issue. She's been finding me everywhere saying you're gonna answer this allegation. So anyway, says big up, good luck to Raheem Sterling. I would appreciate everything he's done for us, but I'm convinced he's scared of Alvarez. I don't think he is scared of Alvarez. I don't think so. Sometimes some players might be just given opportunity to the youngsters. Like he'll be like, you know what, I'm now one of the odd heads in this team. Maybe let me let these youngsters cook. I would rather take myself and go somewhere else and experience. But let's not forget he's a London boy. So same thing as Ake. Nathan Ake is being slated online by certain people saying, why is he gone? For me, yes, I know he promised us months ago that he's going to fight for his position. But after I have seen a lot of pictures online, I see the guy is a Chelsea fan. He's actually a Chelsea fan. So if the club is calling him and giving him first name football, yes, Daniel, he knows he ain't the guy anymore. Shame, but we move on. That intro by Dan, yeah, the intro is good. I know the intro is good, but I decided to go all African. And the graphics are also going to go African. I want to embrace my African roots. So from now on, I'll be going African. So the intro is going to stay. It's going to be the house music. I'm a piano from South Africa, made by one of my friends. So I'm going to keep on that. Yes, Patrick. Okay, good evening. Nice shirt. Thank you, Charlie. It's the new shirt. And somebody said hi there. Okay, Tulam. So I'm pretty sure talking about the tea. Patrick is not a legend. A legend doesn't go to rivals in the prime. He is a cult hero. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. I'm going to give that to Certify in a few minutes, and I'm pretty sure Certify is going to give you the answer why he's a legend. It's been a hot day today. It's supposed to be 28 degrees on Monday. Patrick, what number is on your shirt? It's blank. This one is blank, but I have a white shirt which came, was it 4 to 5 months ago? It's got Haaland, number 9 at the back. When I took the risk, part of me certified and safe because Veda also in the group. When I posted it on the group, I was sweating when some of you guys started posting that number 15. I was like, my God, what if I flop with this number 9? But at the end, I was like, you know what? Screw it. If he wears 15 and I'm wearing number 9, I don't care, to be honest. But
yeah, let's be honest, though,
I saw that number 9.
Yeah, that number 9 was always his. Also, just quickly, in terms of the financial side of things, like, I get that it's not just good business. I think it's incredible business from City's side because you have to remember Raheem Sterling was on 300 grand per week on City's books. So that 300 grand per week is off the books now with immediate effect. So that's a huge chunk of wages, given that we've brought in Haaland. So that's a huge chunk of wages off the books. So we've kind of leveled that more or less. And also, if you look at the overall deal, 47 or 50 million, roughly, 50 million pounds is what we're recouping for him. But at the same time, in the next year, we'll also be saving, because of his wages, we'll be saving roughly 60 million next year. So you can say we've saved close to 110 million plus by just selling him in his final year of contract, instead of letting him drag it out, so and losing him for zero.
And we made more money on Raheem, but then Mane was sold for 35, isn't it? So we've made good money, guys. By the way, somebody was taking people keep complaining about the fee. I'm just gonna say this to you guys. I think we're just gonna remind you that maybe because some of us are very nosy people, and that's why we ended up opening a YouTube channel just to be nosy, is he's got 12 months left, and 12 months left is very crafty, because if Raheem wanted, right, to screw us over, let's say if he just wanted to do something bad to us, he could have said, okay, now let's say Chelsea say, oh, we're not paying 50. Raheem could have gone to City, say, okay, I'll stay here to January. In January, guess what? You are going to be looking at amounts of 50 million, like 15 million, 15.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to be looking at. And yeah, and then all of us were going to sit there like, oh, how dare he does this? How dare he stays to January? How dare he goes on a free?
Yeah, in January he could more or less sign a pre-contract with any club in Europe, and we couldn't have done anything, and we would have just had to sit there. And even if he's not performing, he'd still be earning 300k per week. So I think from the club's perspective, I think there's a lot of mutual respect being shown here from the player side, from the club side. They respect him, they regard him, they respect his wishes. And at the same time, he also recognizes that his time at the club is done. And, if he's not really guaranteed game time, and if he wants to be the main man at Chelsea, he can go there and do that. So I think all around, it's a very nicely pulled off deal if we look at it. Now, Nathan Ake is slightly different to it. So obviously you'll get onto that later. But yeah, in terms of Sterling, from just the financial side of it, I think I'm really satisfied with how it was done and tackled.
Veta, before I continue reading these comments, would you like to answer Daniel on this? Because I know you've got a stream at 2:55 a.m. today, or 2:50 a.m.
No, that's tomorrow. Sorry, I'm on my phone. Oh no!
So so he says, Veta, I miss your watch-alongs during the stream.
You know what? I haven't. I don't plan on doing the watch-alongs, but I do have the one-on-one videos that I plan on dropping. I'm gonna be recording it this Sunday. So yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back for sure.
Okay, cool. So Singing the Blues says, Patrick, do you do all your graphics? Absolutely mint that intro. Yeah, I do them. And, it's quite funny that I have, Veta, how many now? 7 intros. I can't land on one. I had one intro I used to love when I started YouTube. And guess what? Some United big YouTuber decided to take the intro. So I was using the intro like for a month. Then one of my friends is a United fan. He said, Patrick, do you know that somebody has taken the same song you used in the intro? Because we're using the same software. So I used to have a nice intro showing everything. Then he took the thing. Then I remember I just said, you know what? He's bigger than me. It doesn't matter. He's picked it. It even looked weird. No hating. It looked weird with his intro. Then I just gave it up. So this South African intro will stay. And I'll just continue adding graphics to it. And I add a bit of African vibes to it. I'm just gonna go all African now. I think putting hip hop or rap or not from Malawi or from Southern Africa or any African country, I just thought about it. I was like, you know what, I might as well embrace the African side. So look, George says, hi guys, is it true Raheem is coming to Chelsea? Yeah, he's going to Chelsea, right? He's going to Chelsea, George. He's all yours if you're a Chelsea fan. He's all yours. That's the reason why we're here, and some people are in black and black as Veta. And as you can see, there's tears coming out of my eyes automatically as I'm speaking. Anyone in the chat going to the sign-ins event tomorrow? Safe and certified. You guys are in England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you guys close? Are you guys close at all?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go tomorrow, but it's first serve. you have to be there basically really early. So if you don't get there, I think they're just gonna turn you away. So there's not even any.
Why don't you go now, certified, and sleep there?
Take my 10. Hey, bro, I got a 10 as well, man. That's it.
Man, I did that for FIFA back in the days, man. I was like 21 years old. I remember that time FIFA was lit. This FIFA was serious. Not now. Now I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. Like these days, I don't know why I bought the PS5. But I think gaming and me, we are going towards different ends. I think I have to find a game that suits me. I just leave it now. Like I used to play that thing. Now it's just sitting there collecting dust. So
Yeah, bro.
FIFA beta, Assassin's Creed, I was also on the queue.
The console, you know, when you first get it, you show a lot of affection towards the console when you're like taking care of it. Now it's just sitting there collecting dust. It's just there.
Man. And
it's a decoration piece.
Yeah, I feel like
you need the time, man. You know, you need the time and you need the people to play with, so it's tough.
Yeah, that's so true.
What games are you playing yourself, Veta? Because your name is Better Games. I saw your FIFA. Oh, by the way, please go see Veta's FIFA streams. They are entertaining. It just came up at work. It just certified. Go and just see your man is listening to reggae music, and it's just.
All right, I know we're getting derailed, but let me tell you real quick because it's a funny story. So I don't know how this YouTube algorithm works, but I appreciate it and I love everyone that's subscribed to the channel. I haven't hit 100 yet, so it's still a humble channel, but a few that have subscribed hit me in the DMs and said, "This just got recommended to me." And it was a little collage that my boy made because when I score goals playing FIFA, I have a celebration. I say "Bob in your net," right? So
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was.
So a few of my subscribers got recommended this video, and so I'm just getting hit up. When you see it, you'll know exactly what it is. But yeah, it's jokes for sure.
It is entertaining. I don't know why you stop them. Like certified and safe. If you get there, you just watch it. It's entertaining. It's just I don't know. I just saw there. I was like, why am I still watching this? You know what I mean? Like it made me laugh, and we just said boom in the neck. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, it's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Subscribe, man. People, man. Go Better Games. Subscribe. Obviously, subscribe to Patrick's channels, man. Come on, man. Dude, come on. It's only quick,
yeah. Man. Get the man to 100. Get the man to 100. Let him be a centurion. You know, get him to 100. Get him to 100.
Exactly.
So anyway.
I was just gonna say, bro, quickly. I agree with what Safe was saying before, that about like I feel like some of our fans, and I said this before, Veta on my space and Safe. I know Patrick was there, and I said, listen, our fans, man. I feel that some of our fans, not all, but they didn't appreciate it. I feel like we kind of kicked out. Well, not we, because I wasn't part of it, but I know there's some of the other fans that would try to kick.
Do you think it's such a anger deep down inside? Because I was angry last week. Remember when I was speaking on Space? I was actually angry and jealous and pissed off, saying, why is he going to Chelsea? So most of the things I said last week were anger. But I think it's more anger. What do you think, Certified?
I feel that those people that would kick it, like what they were saying online, they were trying to kick him out of the club kind of thing. They were saying, this player's better than him, this player's better than him. You know, and saying about Raheem Sterling. Obviously, I don't think he really cares too much about social media, but if you're a City player, you're working 90 minutes, you're working hard for the team, you're trying to take the team to new levels, and you've been such an important part, and you're not feeling appreciated. Like, this is what I'm saying, some of our fans are doing at Edison right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Edison was like, yo, you know what? I don't need to be here. I can leave. And these players, they don't need to be here. They've got offers. They're playing at the best team in the world. These guys are going to have offers. They're going to have offers. You see how quick Sterling has left. If Edison, people might want to banter Edison. Edison becomes available tomorrow. Trust me, there will be a lot of top teams in for Edison tomorrow. So at the end 100%. Of the day, 100%. So we've got to appreciate what we've got instead of that whole thing of being like, oh yeah, he's a tapping merchant. Oh, he can't finish. He could. He
Oh,
can't.
I did also say that. I out of my anger, I
No,
did
no,
say
but
that.
he said, no. Listen,
You
the
know,
whole
you see, for me, I'm admitting it's anger. So I think everybody it's anger. Me, out of my
no,
anger, I also
that's
say
fine. But Patrick, yeah, when we do it, yeah, we
it.
do it as banter, and we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
So
I've
if
noticed some people take it
we're
seriously.
never we're never like serious, or we're never like disrespectful. And obviously, like, listen, even if I say something about my players, like I criticize them, I think no one's sort of vulnerable to criticism. Everyone can be criticized, including the manager, because at the end of the day, we want the best for our club. We won't criticize if they're winning, but things happen in football. Football doesn't go according to plan all the time. So when things are like slightly off, it's natural that reactions come out of us. At the end of the day, we have emotions. We're not robots. So we also criticize players. We get angry at them. So I think that's just normal and natural. Why I totally and 100% agree with G Certified is, yeah, listen. Another problem I have is, listen, I get this whole notion of, firstly, that don't get it, like he's going to a rival. I already explained that Chelsea are not our rivals, and if the club is happily selling to them, it's not like he's ripped up his contract and just gone to Chelsea and be like, oh, I'm a Chelsea boy now. Like, he's not done that. It's been a very well dealt with deal from all angles. And then secondly, like Veta mentioned something, and JCF if I'd also mentioned it. Like, at the time, we don't really appreciate these players enough, because you have to remember, in Pep's era, he has been the second most goal scoring and in terms of goals and assists for us. Yeah. And that signifies, I'm not saying it's all down to like GA solely, but it does signify a big chunk of what it means to us and what he means to us as a player. And lastly, a lot of these fans that I'm seeing right now that are just, on his case, they wanted him gone 2 years ago. They wanted him gone last year. They wanted him gone this year. Now that he's actually gone, you should be happy. Why are you mad? Why? What's the anger for? Like, do you not see? Like, that's the problem. Like, if you wanted him gone for time, you should be happy he's gone. Forget all of this talk about, oh, he missed chances or this or that. Forget it. Now
Because
you're
it hurts.
purposely doing a prop and just calling him a snake and calling him bad and just rubbing out his career. What's the point?
Because
And sorry, no, no,
it hurts.
one second.
So if it's painful, it's painful, man.
No. Listen, losing a player, and football is closely tied to emotions, whether we like it or not. It is painful to lose a player, to lose a game, to lose in any sort of manner in terms of football. Even if a transfer doesn't go to plan, we are all sad. It happens. It's totally natural, and it's okay for us to feel a certain way about it. But I'm just saying, you have to remember, if we don't respect our players in our most successful era, this is not a good look on us as a fan base, because you have to remember, we're not Real Madrid. Yeah, when we have 30 plus league titles and 14 Champions Leagues, they can hate, they can afford to hate. You know why? Because they've had legends walk through the doors. They don't respect Bale, they don't respect Ronaldo, because they've had players come in and out of the club before, but they have won for them and they've gone in and they have been established. Now we've had a long sort of era where we weren't really winning or dominating. We were doing all right as a club, but now we're actually dominating. We're creating this. This is legacy we're talking about. And the players that are helping us create this legacy, if we don't respect them, will not be looked well upon. It's just simple as that. We're not Real Madrid. We are Man City. We should be proud of these players for what they're creating for us. And that's just how I feel. Like, I don't feel like we should hold them in the highest regard. Obviously, some players will be above others, and that's totally fine. But when it comes to players like Raheem Sterling, and now that he's left the club, I just want people to show him a bit of love. Like, it's not much to ask for, and I think he's earned that
There's a
right.
comment. There's a comment here. It says maybe exactly what how you feel safe. It says Sterling is like a Man City. Okay, Sterling was like a Man City in a person. He faces criticism and hate wherever. So big up to Raheem. So basically, Singing Blues says Raheem is like Man City. If Man City was a human being, that's what Raheem is. Wherever he goes, he faces criticism. I think he's
That's
talking
right.
about England. He's talking
No, but
about when he goes to other stadiums. So what do you think, Mr. Don? I see you've just joined us.
yeah, but Patrick, I disagree with Safe. Like, I get it, but I don't think that's the thing though. I feel as good as Sterling has been for us, he's one of those players whereby he's kept it too professional. I don't think he's been embedded into the club like the other players, right? Look at, for example, I'm saying like, for example, look at your Cancelos, right? I think even in your goals and the way they act, these guys, it's like they are City. They live the badge. I don't know if you figure what I'm trying to say. Whereby Sterling, whenever you look at him play, it's like he keeps it too professional, right? It's like, I'm here to do a job, however it goes. Now the thing is this: at the end of the day, you want to win fans over as early as possible, right? Because when things go wrong, these are the people who will defend you, right? That's it. I don't know if you've ever been to a company where the guy is just there for the job, right? He performs well, right? But he's there to do a good job and leave. Then you get a company guy, right? Forget about his performance. That guy is embedded into the culture of the company and is that whereby even if his performances are not good, but let's say when they're chopping off people off the block, you find people just love having him around. Forget his performances. No one even cares that he does well or not. Like, he embeds what this company is all about. And I think with Sterling, it's more like he didn't get too emotional with Man City, right? So
Don,
because of that,
yeah, sorry, my bro. You know what? Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I agree with you because if you're saying that he wasn't really like, as you say, he's not like someone like a Zinchenko who goes up to
yes,
the camera or says like he will die for this club, and
yes,
he hasn't maybe, tried to win the fans over, or have the emotional connection, or tried to like make it out like that, and he's been too professional. I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, do you know why that is? I think it's become his style because he was so hated. So he's lost the entire sort of will to be loved, or will to just be cared about in that way. I think he's just lost out, or just mostly just given
yeah,
up on
but I
trying to
think
fight to win, because you remember this guy and the childhood that he had, and the young in his young years he was in a very, very, very rough environment at Liverpool, and at Liverpool it was very tough for him. So leaving Liverpool and coming to City, obviously because people made it out like it was a money move and everything, and he's money hungry, the abuse he copped for years, it made him just low profile. So he never really, was able to. Some people are just not that expressive. I'm sure he
okay,
likes the club. He, at the end of the day, he stayed with us for 7 years for a reason. Like, if he did
yeah,
not really believe in us, or liked us or anything, he could have left at any time.
I get all of that right. And I think that the thing is though is that comes at a price, right? We've had players who are not expressive. Look at your Vinny's or your Fernandinho. These are not guys who go every week in the media talking or whatnot. But you could see these guys were you could say these guys are City through and through. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, right? And then so now the thing is,
No, I get
yes,
what your point is. You're
no,
trying to say like his heart is maybe not 100% in it.
so
Yeah, but
so
you know what it
so
is saying, bro. You know, sorry, Don, right? But the thing is, yeah, about this whole Sterling thing is what the people want to do. Start taking off his shirt, or start
no,
screaming, swinging the shirt around him,
no,
tapping the
no.
badge,
Or
kissing the
kissing the
badge.
badge.
You know,
No, no, no,
like,
no. I'm
people
saying
want
it's not. No,
to be
listen,
like Scott
listen.
McTominay, passion merchants,
No, no,
shout
no,
on the field.
no,
At
no.
the end of the day,
Certified.
you don't
You're
need to
missing the
show that.
point, right?
Did
You're missing the
what
point.
did you say about Scott McDominay?
Bro, he's like
Yeah,
passion
no,
merchants go on the field.
Passion
Just
and desire.
This guy, certified,
certified.
certified,
No, no, no.
certified. We don't want
Nah,
smoke
let
from United fans. Smoke from United
Yeah,
fans is not great.
we do a
no
passion
no
and
let
desire.
let Don go
I get
still.
what
Yeah.
you're saying. I'm saying it's not all about that. Your Fernandinho's. At the end of the day, if there was a player who was always most likely to leave every summer, it would be Sterling. Like he's that kind of guy whereby you could see this guy is a professional. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. He's more like I could leave to any club and I would be okay with it. And that's certain individuals that you have in life. Now the thing is that comes at a price. The thing is because at the end of the day, your first form of defense is your fan base as a player, even as a manager, is the fans, right? Hence, it is in your best interest that you win the fans over. So even when you're having a dip in form, look at Grealish, right? Grealish hasn't been performing well, but he's managed to win the fans over. So whenever people want to criticize him, he's always defended, and you need that. Whereby Sterling may have had a better season, but
But you see,
because
this
of
is
how
what I mean, Don, bro. Like, this
No,
is what
certified. I'll let you go. I want to ask. I have a question here. Luca, what do you mean? Okay, how do you get the 48 watching? I don't know, Luca. Recently, I don't know, certified. Just for the past, when was it better? Since 2 days ago, people have just started jumping on. So I don't know. Luca. I have no answer for you. I know, Luca, you've got a YouTube channel, but I have no answer. He says 45 watching. How? Why? Why is man shocked? Man is shocked here. Man is go ahead, certified. I'm just laughing at Luca's comment. Luca is a great guy, man. He just makes me laugh. Go ahead. He's like,
bro. What I wanted to say, it's just that I hear what Don's trying to say, but if we're saying that Jack Grealish is showing more love than Sterling to the club, I don't know what we're talking about. Like, it's the same thing. Like, what's Jack Grealish done yet that's been more?
These things are very subtle.
Yeah,
It's human behavior, right?
Because
Let's say, I'm saying at the end of the day, it's like relationship dynamics, right? You could go into a relationship. You could have two relationships, right? And I don't know if you've ever had even like an uncle. You have an uncle who doesn't do much for you, but just the vibe that he gives off, you're more attached to another uncle who does too much more, but you feel as if he's a bit. That connection isn't there, and that's what I'm saying. It's just humans how they are, but at the end of the day, it all comes at a price. The price is the more favorable you are to people, the more they're going to defend you, regardless of how bad you do, right? So now, that's just the price of trying to be like, no, But at the end of the day, I understand most players today are like, no, you know what? I'm a professional here. I'm here. I might be here for a time being, so I have to keep to myself at times. And good. I'm saying all at your own cost, and this is the cost. So I'm not too surprised at the backlash that he gets. I feel as if he's less connected than other players, and once that happens, and if you go to every club, there are players like this.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but Don, sorry, one second.
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to say something safe. I'm okay. As Don is speaking about this Raheem professional thing, I feel like there's a bit of truth in it. Am I wrong, Safe? I just feel like I'm looking at his goal celebrations.
You know why?
You're not supposed to pretend. Go ahead, Safe, because I'm just thinking there's some truth into it. He looks always professional, even when he's doing the interviews.
Even I said, there is some truth to it, but at the end of the day, every player is different, And when you're talking about, you mentioned the relationship dynamics part there, you have to understand our fans have not been showing the same amount of love to Raheem Sterling for over 3 years now, but he's still been at the club. Yeah, you have to understand it goes both ways. And do you think Raheem Sterling did not know that he was not being showed the love? Do you not think like he was on socials and seen people post his misses, or people like, oh, why is number 7 starting, or oh no, why is number 7 on the pitch, or get number 7 off? These things are also noted by the professionals as well. So I get that he was professional, but at the end of the day, bro, like that's players just have to keep their head down and just do their job at the end of the day. He was trying his best, obviously did not work out the last 2 seasons, but you can't tell me like if you think like it's not gone 100% from his side into like investing into our club, like emotionally, and from like a perspective that maybe some other players like Fernandinho and like company did in a certain way. The same way we did not invest in Sterling as fans like that. I see more love for Nathan Ake than I do for Sterling. And Nathan Ake is only someone that is loved because Pep said, oh, he do not make a bad face because he's on the bench and he's always smiling. Like, what are we doing? Are we just... No, that's what I'm saying. But
let's put it this way, right? I feel as if Sterling is one of that guy whereby, and it's a mindset, it's good, and it's a good for a player, right? He believes that he's good enough to start every game, right? Now the thing with that is when you're playing for one of the greatest teams, right? Your average performance has to be at least a 7. No one is really guaranteed a place in the team, and so that thing of whereby you can see the frustration. I think it's for about 2 seasons now. You can see the frustration in Sterling when he doesn't start. But now, at the same time, we can say Pep started him in the biggest game of the club's history, in the Champions League final, when he was way out
Totally
of form.
agree. I totally agree.
Right. And so at the end of the day, you need to pay your dues as well. You must understand that these guys, the coach had enough confidence in me when I was at one of my worst. And let's be honest, there are times where Sterling drops a stinker, right? But now but when you're in a team whereby the next, I'm saying, listen, when you're in a team whereby the next guy is just as good as you, or he may even in better form, that is why Pep would likes Ake more. Because if you see, we spoke about Ake earlier. Whenever you give whenever Ake puts on the shirt, regardless of how many games you played him in a row, what he goes in and playing as if he'll play as if he's been playing consistently, consecutively the whole season. And at the time, that is a delight for coach, because he knows that there isn't. Yes, as much as soccer is an emotional game, you want also consistency to come with it, and understanding as a player. No, right now I'm in a bad patch. Let me try work and fight my way back into a starting.
Okay,
spot.
Don. Now answer me this. Yeah, during this, let's just take this past season. Forget about. We obviously know, like last 2 seasons, it wasn't the same, and I think it's rather pointless to argue over that. But let's just take this past season. Yeah, in towards the end of November, when COVID cases started hitting and the matches were getting delayed and a lot of clubs were just getting their fixtures, cancelled and everything. Who was the player that stepped up for us? And who was the player that was the player of the month in that very specific month for us?
I think it's Sterling.
Yep, that was Raheem Sterling. Yeah. Now,
Yes.
tell me, the problem is you have to understand this is the consequence of depth at the same time. Yeah, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, sorry, the comment just caught me off guard.
Factors.
Come on, man, don't do that.
Factors, please, guys. Safe. How many times should I tell these people? Don't bring Leon. It brings bad memories. I wasn't in a good place.
No, listen. I'll get onto it. But just give me this one. Yeah. During that December to early January period, he was our best player. He was also the player of the month, and there was really just no debate in that. What warranted Sterling to get dropped after the good games he was having? Because he was having very good games, but what warranted him to get dropped? Can anyone give me a justifiable reason for why he was dropped?
Safe, I can reverse the same thing and say that look at Gabriel Jesus, right?
No, I understand, but I'm talking in terms of seniority as well.
No, I want to give you context to understand that.
Okay, sure, go on.
No, Pep has always rotated the front line regardless of how well you've done. Look at Jesus. Jesus could drop a masterpiece against Liverpool, right? Or against Chelsea. And then the next game he's benched. Right. Because at the end of the day, Pep plays the best players for what the opponent. And that's always been Pep. Hence I'm saying, unless maybe you part of the defense or the goalkeeper.
No, 100%. I totally understand.
Let me finish what I'm trying to say. Pep plays what's the best team for the opponents or what he's trying to do. Let's say if you're playing against a low block, he may play inverted wingers instead of wingers that will bomb. So hence I'm saying the thing is with Pep, it's never him benching you doesn't mean you're out of form or you're not performing. It just means that you are not right for what he's trying to do in that game. And most of the players have understood this. Look at that's why I salute Jesus, because Jesus' attitude has been similar to Ake. Whenever Jesus is on the pitch, I'm saying you hardly see that. No, this guy hasn't been.
Yeah,
playing.
But do you know why I disagree with that? Because Jesus is someone who we saved a career and made a career out of. We got him from somewhere in South America. We scouted this boy. We brought him to the Premier League. We expected like great things, not just great things. We expected him to be the great Man City player. But he never lived up to that because he was expected to be the Aguero replacement. He never lived up to those standards, but because of that, he knew his level. He knew his level from the very day that he landed to his club, and he was trying to improve, and he was grateful that he got to train under a manager like Pep Guardiola. I'm not saying Sterling wasn't grateful, but at the end of the day, when you are 27, you are an English international, full English international, you have to be you have to at least feel like you are the main man at some point.
No,
Don't you?
What I'm saying,
No. Listen. One sec.
Let me tell you
No.
how-
Listen.
You the rebuttal, right? What I'm saying
Let's
is,
say finish, man. Let's say.
Don't let him finish. Then you answer back. Go ahead, Safe. Let him finish. Then you answer back.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, when you're 27 years age, like, and right now he's going into his prime years. Yeah, these. I'm not saying he's gonna hit new heights ever or the same heights. Yeah, he might still do very well at Chelsea. I don't really care because there's Chelsea. I couldn't care less what a player does there. But at the end of the day, when you're 27 going on to 28, you're in the peak of your career, more or less. Forget about the payday and everything. He's still getting the same money he earned at City, at Chelsea. You want to be the main man of a team. You want to be recognized. You want to get the minutes. Yeah, I get this whole point about rotation and everything. I get that, but you have to understand. Yeah, Mahrez came in way after Sterling. Sterling has been here and he has been there. Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne are two names that have been there the longest, longer than any other City player under Pep Guardiola. Yeah.
If you're missing the point, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. The thing is, when you say you're gonna
No, I'm getting to your point. Your point is what you're trying to say is Pep does not care about form. It's dependent on the game and the opponent. He picks the players according to the opponent. So you can be in the best of forms, but you can still get benched.
And you know
That's what you're saying, right?
Let me land. What I'm trying to say is this, right? Certified. Sorry. Just give me a moment. The thing is, when you want to be the main man, you must understand the caliber of the manager you're dealing with. Sterling can't lace the boots of some of the players Guardiola has coached, and that's the reality. He's coached Robin, he's coached Ribery, he's coached Messi and Iniesta. You're not good enough to be the main man, and that's the side point we have to deal with. As good as Sterling is, for Pep to be guaranteed a spot, you must be of a certain caliber of player, and those players are once in a lifetime players, whereby even them, Pep could bench. So you must understand that at the end of the day, the dynamics change based on the manager you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a smaller manager, to him you're like, wow. Hence, don't get off that England hype. The competition that he has in England is way easier than what he has at Man City, and those are the sad facts that you have to deal with. Because there you're dealing with probably you have Grealish, you have Bowen, you have Rashford, you have Sancho. Of course, you're gonna be the main man when you're playing with those kind of players. But look. For example, you have Mahrez. Mahrez was, I think, our best winger last season. But you might find out that he had the same minutes
for 2 seasons now, really.
Yes, but what I like about Mahrez, he fights for his spot. You understand?
But acting like Sterling doesn't fight for his spot. That's the thing. That's
what I'm saying, though.
I'm gonna need a spot. I'm gonna need to talk after you guys.
Yeah, go on.
I'm saying fighting for his spot. At the end of the day, you can't demand more when your output isn't as much as what you're demanding. That's like, for example, you're a salesman, right? You're not salesman of the year. You didn't drop, you didn't hit your targets, and you're asking for an increase. Now your boss will be like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And that's
okay. Another thing. Okay, can you justify dropping him or not playing him at all for 2 entire 90+ minutes against Real Madrid? Because he did not play either leg. He did not play either leg.
He didn't even feature in the quarters. Remember, he wasn't in the quarters until
no, he wasn't even in the quarters. Yep, he wasn't even in the quarters. Really.
Veta, go on. Let Veta.
Yes, because of what? No. Let me answer your question. The reason he justified is because Pep wanted to keep the ball.
Come on, bro. Let Veta
Don't. Let Veta go. Then you can go back. Veta, go ahead. Then Don can go back.
Sure. Hopefully there's not enough. The noise isn't bad out here.
Oh, Veta. 1 minute, 1 minute. Commercial break, guys. In the comments, there's about 70 of you. It got to 100 of you watching, 90 of you watching. Like the video. Like we're giving you our time here. Like the vid, it's free. It's not gonna ask for your credit card. So like the vid. There's about 30 of you or 25 who like the vid. Go ahead. There's 66 to 70, 80 coming in this. Like the video. These guys are cooking. Better go ahead. The mic is yours.
All right. Hopefully the noise isn't bad. But this is, and I love Don Smokes. analogy around work, right? Let's keep with that. Sterling, and he's at the company. He's one of the employees that was kind of there from the early beginning, and he's seen a lot of coworkers go, right? He's like one of the last remaining people. And in terms of vibes in the locker room or vibes out on the pitch and wanting to express yourself, I mean, I've been working for many years many years. I know the vibes when you're not really feeling it. Not that you're not going to be professional, but you're just not going to be partying and going out to the bars with some of the men. And what we've seen in terms of the pitch and his celebrations, he's kind of choosy. He hasn't done it all the time, but for the fans to be more Grealish, more Sterling, I mean, Grealish is the new toy. Grealish is like, quote unquote, one of the English lads, right? So we can see the differences there. With regards to Sterling now, and him and his professionalism, him playing for the club and what he's contributed. One thing that I want to shoot, kill, and die with regards to this narrative in Champions League. We're not blaming, and I hate seeing City fans that are blaming us falling short against Chelsea as to Pep choosing to start Sterling. The emphasis really should be Pep thinking that he can have Gundo be on the pitch. Like the emphasis was, I think I can control most of this game, and the threat that Chelsea has isn't as threatening. That's why I'm going to have Gundo on the field versus the move to have Sterling on there. So this narrative, because I hate it from our fan base saying, if Pep never put Sterling on this, we would have won a UCL. Stop that. That wasn't the strategy that was really the reason there. And Sterling has been the player that has been different from many other players on our pitch and within our rotation. And what he gives us is very different from what Mahrez does. What he gives us is very different from Jesus. So don't compare the guys. Don't compare the players in terms of like shutting down Sterling or justifying why he is not needed, because they serve different purposes. What I've seen, my two eyes, is I'm seeing such a different energy and farewell for Sterling versus Jesus and now versus Ake. And in terms of output, what player has meant more to the club during his tenure?
Oh,
Sterling.
so Veda, sorry for stopping. So you were seeing a different type of energy towards Raheem, yet Ake and Jesus are getting a free a free pass, isn't it? I have seen the Jesus one. I called out somebody. I was like, why is Jesus having a free pass and Raheem you're stepping on his neck?
And I'm not saying crush Jesus and Ake. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let the guys have a nice farewell. Bye, thank you guys. But the energy's been so different.
You also don't forget, like listen, whenever I look at a lot of City fans, they bring up, but look at the Leon miss here. They've held that one too hard. And I get they've held that one too hard, but if you really look at that game, tactically it was way off. Starting a back three of Eric Garcia, Fernandinho, and Laporte, who just came back from an injury.
Your man loved Garcia to the end, didn't he? He loves Garcia to the end. Isn't that guys? Have you guys looked at Garcia from a distance? Isn't that Pep's son? Because my God, your man loved him. The guy that was willing.
I don't know what the love was for.
Was willing to give out everything for Garcia.
Yeah, but also no, but also if we look at this year, forget Leon. Yeah, Leon happened, Spurs happened, whatever happened. Forget all of that. Let's look at this year. Against Real Madrid, home and away, Sterling did not play either games. Fair enough. Sterling does not have to hold the blame. That's totally fine. We had crazy amount of firepower in our attack. We were dominant in both legs against Madrid. But what was the Achilles heel against us? Like, what was the one thing that held us back from finishing those two ties? It was what? Our finishing. Yeah. Was Raheem Sterling responsible for the end of those chances being missed by Foden, Mahrez?
He wasn't on the pitch. He wasn't on the pitch at all.
That's what I'm saying. So you know what I mean? Like this, we cannot just pick and choose and just hold on to memories because someone missed an open goal. Because at the end of the day, we know that we have problems all across our front line, not just not being clinical. At the end of the day, Sterling had 13 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League, so he's putting up double figures again. So I'm not saying he was pivotal, but at the end of the day, he was still part of the people that contributed to our title win. And he came on in the final game and he changed the game. Fair enough. I agree that it was the right time to leave, but I would just like a little sort of less revisionism on him, because I feel, given what he done for us, I get that obviously, like, listen, he wasn't the most passionate guy. He never really put he's a guy that, wears his heart on his sleeve. He just says it like it is. You guys remember the interview he did when Liverpool were like winning the league? Yeah.
Yeah, he said next year we're not gonna allow them to do this because we're so pissed off. And then asked him, did you really care? He's like, I didn't care.
Do you see what I mean? He said he puts his heart, he wears his heart on the sleeve, man. He said it like it is. He said, listen, yeah, we, and as a club, and we, our boys, will be hurt and we will come back for the Premier League next year. Yeah. And they did that. So fair play to them. Listen, he cared about the team spirit. He was great with everyone in the dressing room. There was no problem. In my opinion, that's one of the role models in terms of being a model professional on and off the pitch. Yeah. He was a great example to all of the youngsters in our academy, all of the youngsters on the team. Yeah. Even they have been quoted to say that they, even in the England camp, they look up to him as a role model in terms of how to act and how to go about football on a professional level. So I get it, but at the end of the day, like, I don't get why we, expect a lot more of him, and we give a free pass to players like Ake or Zinchenko or Jesus because they laugh and smile about being okay with rotation. You have to understand the consequence of depth is, yeah, if a player reaches a certain level and they're good players and they're senior players, we will lose them. Eventually, we will start losing these players because they're too good to be, on the bench. They're clearly starters for. Look at Jesus. Jesus was happy. It wasn't like a problem as such. But at the end of the day, he realized he wanted to be a starter. Like, he was never going to do it at City, and he was never going to get the guarantee. So he had to move to Arsenal. And you know what? Fair play, good luck to him. But the same way we are saying good luck to, Gabriel Jesus, and I've seen a lot of people actually really happy for him that he's, like Arsenal are some of our like little bros all of a sudden, and then Jesus brace and we're all happy and it's all nicey nice and we're like, wow, this guy's gonna like tear it up at Arsenal, like Arsenal.
Yeah, will the same energy be given to Raheem if he scores you?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Don, there's a question for you, Don. Here, somebody's asking a question straight at you, Don. He says, question for Don Smoke. So here's a question for you, Don. It says, would you rather have a player who does his job or a player who loves your club regardless his performance? So he says, would you rather have a player who does his job and just does his job professionally like Raheem, obviously does it at a higher level, or you want a player that just loves the club regardless the performance?
I want both. I'm saying that it doesn't have to be either or, right? At the end of the day, you want someone who loves a job, but also love the thing is, it's more like enjoy where you are for as long as you're there. It's like that thing of whereby do what you have, do what you have to do with what you have wherever you are, right? So that's why hence I always salute Pep. Whenever a player doesn't want to be at a place, Pep allows them to leave. Because the thing
I respect that as well.
The thing is, your mind, your mind, emotions, and your body is all interlinked, right? Once a thought is in your head, eventually it will transmit to the body, and it then affects your performances, right? Because as I'm saying, you need all of it. You don't want someone who's half in, half out, right?
Yeah, but Don, you say that, but look at, for example, look at a player like Zinchenko. Why do you think he's been great then? Because correct me if I'm wrong, he was missing for majority of the season. Fair enough, he come back towards the end of the season, had a good like last month or so. So why are we not having the same energy for him? Because he wasn't really available. Look at players like Cancelo. Cancelo's dipped like from a cliff, yeah, and he was still doing it. Yeah, go on.
Missing the point. The thing is this: to whom much is given, much more is expected. You just said yourself that Jesus didn't turn out to be what he is, and Sterling was a better player. So by that logic, automatically more expectations are given to Sterling than Jesus. So by that logic as well, Sterling can't produce the same numbers as Jesus. You understand? The reason why most fans are frustrated of Sterling is not that Sterling doesn't perform, is because we expect much more for him, because we have him at a higher ceiling than Jesus. And that's how it works. Whenever you're comparing players, you compare them using what you believe is their ceiling or their potential. And for us, we feel as if Sterling could have been better than he was at the club. That's why even his misses, yes, you can say no. What you call it, that game against Madrid, most players missed. But if we look at average in our team, Sterling isn't the player with the best conversion rate. So that means that logic.
Do you know, Don? Can I shock you that that's factually incorrect? Yeah, because Sterling has outperformed his XG, so his conversion rate is actually better than a lot of our attackers. It's more on par.
No, safe.
Don't say it's gonna be the eye test. Don't say
the eye test though. Like numbers back it up, man. Look, we can't do this, man.
So, you can watch stuff with the calculator. That's okay. I'm not gonna go down that route. What I'm trying to say is this.
So you're telling me they're lying,
dude? We're playing a thing of semantics now, and it's not productive.
No, it's not semantics. I'm just telling you. You're telling me that he's not a good finisher, and you're telling me about the eye test. But I'm telling you, eye test is not everything, because considering the chances we create for Sterling and the chances he converts, he actually outperforms his XG, and he has done every single season. So where's the lies on that?
More power to you and to the XGs. What I want to say is this. I'm saying,
did you just say more power to you and the XGs?
And the XG, because
this guy, man, this guy. Certified, did you hear this guy? More power to you and your XGs.
That's the thing, bro.
I'm saying at the end of the day, Sterling scores the harder chance.
Yeah, don't. Let's see what's Certified. By the way, Certified, since you're going next. After 35, Veta can come in. I'm gonna start looking at these comments, and I'll be picking up these juicy things people are saying. So, Certified, I want you to answer this comment over here while you're also talking. Have you seen the comment? It says, Patrick, just look at City's players on social media. They all have AVs in a Man City jersey except Raheem.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he's had the England one. I know he's had the England one for so long. Does that also put more smoke on Don't Smoke's words?
Yeah, the thing is that the reason why I'm just I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Is that I'm listening to that, and I know I can't compare him to obviously what Ronaldo was doing at Man United. Yeah, but Ronaldo was performing, even though he wanted to leave, even though he might have not shown as much passion, desire. People still loved him and still rated him because he was a good footballer. The modern era wants us to have passion merchants, Scott McTominay, putting their heart, desire on the pitch, leaving it all on the pitch.
There you go again, looking for smoke from United. Keep going.
At the end of the day, not all players are gonna have that same mentality. You got to know that these are not robots. They're not all automatic. They're not all that. These guys are humans. These guys are people. They're not all the same. So you are gonna have someone like Phil Foden that came through the club, that's gonna love the club because that was him. You got to realize that Sterling, he's coming into Manchester City, and I don't even believe that. Even if you look at some of the celebrations, I remember his one against Liverpool when he thought that he scored the winner this season at home. He was celebrating. He was happy. That's the thing. The reason why Sterling doesn't celebrate all the time is because sometimes, this guy might even be tired. You never know. It doesn't always have to be because, they love for the club. Sometimes this guy might just want to just go and just do his thing. I think we're over-analyzing Sterling.
100%. This body language, reading, psychology, therapist stuff that we do as fans, I'm not with. Because we never know. And to G Certified's point with regards to celebrating, without Sterling, we don't raise the title this year. Without Sterling, we don't spark the amazing greatest comeback, right? So let's all remember that. The first person, watch Gundo slide, do his winning slide after scoring the winning goal, running to the fans. Who's the first person in his face? The first person in his face was Sterling. Like this reading celebrations, whether you're here for the club or not, Dead that. It's how you perform, and it's where you are for the team within the game. I think another part with Sterling and why he isn't ecstatic with some of the celebrations. Yeah, you see him like pump his fist or run to the crowd, but a lot of times when he's not ecstatic, he's maybe missed a couple or two chances prior, or he's had a mistake and then he scored. There's been many games where he's had opportunities. He actually should have maybe scored 2 or 3 times, but he came through the game with 1 goal. And you can kind of read that like, man, I scored, but I should have had one earlier. We look at the game where we put 5 against Wolves, and he had that. For example, right? He had that run where he missed a chance, and then minutes later he's able to score. I think he scores the 4th or the 5th. So that's where we just need to be really careful with that, because I think we run with a few narratives to kind of justify our position with what we think.
Vet, have you seen this comment here? Have you seen this comment, Vet, as you're speaking also? Somebody just said Sterling is the only Man City player left at Man City who gave 100 goals. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I think what he has done for City, regardless the less love he felt, you should not complain. So somebody says it's one of the players that has given us 100 goals, and regardless that way some people are not showing him love, we can't complain. Do you agree with this, Veta?
Sorry, just before you go again, just before you go again, you have to remember, like this is one example, but I can give you 1,000 examples where, listen, the Chelsea fans, a lot of them are haters as well, because they didn't want Sterling, because you can say they sort of, have different sort of bias, or because they had Eden Hazard in the past or whatever. I don't care about that, The fact of the matter is, a lot of the players, if you go around the league and you were to ask, how good has been Sterling for Man City, I guarantee you every single one of them will label him an important player for Man City. Every single one of them. Every single one of them will tell you how good of a player he has been for Man City. Every single one.
100%.
But
100%. And to that point, Safe, though, what's also very telling is when you do have those honest rival fans, right? Obviously, when he's an opponent, they're going to trash him. They're going to point out they're going to nitpick and point everything out. But when the players are now on their team and they now step back and they actually they shine and show what's quality of the player, that's what comes out, and we're seeing that. And I love listening to it in the spaces now with fans that were against them and now recognizing, or always recognized, but now telling of the talent that he is. 100%. This Sterling narrative, I don't think will ever die. Unfortunately, it's probably going to carry over to him over at Chelsea. I just want our fan base, and I love this channel, True City Fan. We're all City fans. I love for not necessarily to police, but I like that we do have fans that are going to be a little less of that kind of bandwagon and negative narrative that needs to happen. We can say bye to him without throwing shots at him.
I think sorry, just quickly.
Go on, bro.
The only other thing is, I would say, sort of, I kind of agree in terms of his legacy and in terms of the respect he sort of deserves.
Safe. Again, I found another comment. I know you're speaking, but I want you also to keep this in mind.
Go on.
Are you on your phone? It says Patrick, Raheem has played more minutes than Mahrez ever since Mahrez came to City. Yet Raheem is crying about game time while Mahrez is fighting for his spot. As you're speaking, also, I want you to just answer this particular question. I want you guys to be answering this. So go ahead.
I'll answer that.
Don't smoke. I'll find one for you. I'll find one for you too. So go ahead, Safe.
No problem.
In terms of that, listen, at the end of the day, I think I sort of agree in the sense that, he will never get the respect that he deserves or warrants, because you have to remember, Premier League is very tribal. Like there's lots of, like you can't go to this club, that club, or you can't play for this club and play for that club. So Sterling, obviously, like if we know the history, he grew up as a United fan, and then he was in the Liverpool youth system. He came through the Liverpool youth system, played for Liverpool, nearly got them to the title. Obviously, Liverpool gene came through and we won the league. And then he joined City, and now from City, he's had a crazy successful career, and now he's gone to Chelsea. So that's 4 big sort of English clubs in there, which which means that he's always going to be the player that divides opinion. He's never going to be looked at in terms of greatness, in terms of what he's done for club on club level, because he's represented more than 2 or 3 clubs, and that alone has divided the biggest fan bases in the country. Now getting on to the point
Minutes,
about
yeah,
the
not
whole
his. The minutes. Yeah.
yeah, the minutes point. You have to remember Sterling can complain, but a lot of other players also complain. Cancelo, you remember, after his first season, regardless of how he was doing, he was complaining about his game time. Laporte was seriously planning on leaving after complaining about game time. Bernardo was set on leaving after complaining about game time. Gundogan this year was not happy, and the reports came out that he might not renew because of um, not having consistent game time. Jesus left because of not gets consistent game time. Um, there's plenty players, bro. Like Foden does not have consistent game time. Like he's getting benched, but at the same time, someone like Mahrez, you have to understand, bro. Like Pep reinvented Mahrez's game. Do you understand this? Yeah, you have to understand when Leicester is a very very sort of tough place to exit from. Yeah, look at
It
Maguire. They had
is.
to pay.
It is. It is.
They had to pay like what 80 million for Maguire. The fridge.
Yeah, blood. They were looking
Yeah,
for 85, and but oh, look,
yeah,
you know what?
and you
Save, save,
remember.
save. That was Man United's fault because City struck a deal at 55 to
Yeah,
60, and they
yeah.
came in and outbeat us. So go keep
Yeah,
going.
but I'm just saying, so look at that, yeah, and you have to remember, at least 2 to 3 seasons prior, every single summer, or every single window, he would get linked to a club. He would get linked to Chelsea. He would get linked to Arsenal. He would get linked to City, and City were eventually the club that actually got him after paying 60 million pounds. Yeah, and that was a very tough deal to do because even then it wasn't really looking likely, and all of a sudden something finally came to pass. They finally agreed on a fee, and he joined us. So after he joined us, his first season wasn't great, and I think he's accepted his role because he knows that Pep will play him in a lot of Champions League games because the games are very open. And you see still now, yeah, the thing with our rotation was, and our frontline rotation was, with striker, without a striker, Mahrez does very well because he holds on to the ball well. He does something. But even Mahrez has frustrating games. Can you tell me that Mahrez does not have frustrating games? Of course he
He
does.
does.
Yeah, yeah, of course he does. And in games, there has been times where we've been like, you know what, sub Mahrez off, put another option on, or bring someone off the bench, like just change the game or change that. So listen, Sterling might have started more than Mahrez in overall minutes, but Mahrez was the guy playing the more important games. We can't really, forget the context to that because if you look at the PSG tie, Sterling did not touch the pitch for that. It was Mahrez. Mahrez pretty
So
much
so
carried us
so
through.
this has been cooking for 2 seasons. We can say that
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. This has been cooking for.
throughout this, yeah, throughout the time when we go to the finals, Raheem did
Yeah,
not take part in any important game in the Champions League.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you can say that Sterling has had more minutes, and you can factor that in because it's the league games. But the bigger and important games where you sort of count on your senior players, the go-to player has been Mahrez because he's been
Yeah,
given a lot more
and
trust.
Foden.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you can't tell me that if Raheem Sterling or if Raheem Sterling, if Foden and Mahrez are the two players getting the most game time and the biggest and most important games in City's season, that a player like Raheem Sterling, who's been at the club longer than both of them, cannot complain
no,
about game
no,
time.
no, but
Of course, he's going to complain.
No, safe. When you say that, I don't think it answers. The thing is, what I'm going to ask you is this: was it is it justified? The reason is the reason justified why the other two get more important games than Sterling?
No, it's not 100% justified. He could have easily played a lot of those games.
Why? Okay, why is it not justified? Because the thing is, trust has to be earned, and trust also. The thing is, trust is it fluctuates, right? Remember,
Listen,
trust
I
is
get the
actually
whole trust factor, bro, but at the end of the day, like, was he not performing when
Safe.
Pep did trust him?
No.
But it
Right.
was the same with Mahrez. They were all in and out of form, though. This is what I don't get from people.
No. the thing is, don't be the thing is, we shouldn't be disingenuous, right? We have the gift of hindsight, because these are things that have passed, right? So the thing
Yeah.
is, when with Pep, the thing with Pep is the type of guy whereby you have to earn his trust to play in. It's like playing in the midfield for Pep. Not everyone gets to play in the midfield for Pep. Even if you're a midfielder, he first throws you out wide. Then when you prove yourself,
Yeah,
you
but
come
that
back.
does not apply to the attack. The attack was a
Wait,
simple philosophy, and the philosophy was whoever's scoring goals stays in the team because we don't have a number 9, so it's
you see,
necessary for a
that's
goal
the thing,
scorer to
bro.
be there.
Safe. I think you don't understand Pep. Pep is not just about scoring goals, right? The reason why I
No,
tell you
but that's
this,
his
look,
own words, though.
wait, safe. Don't be quick to answer. First, understand what I'm trying to lay across. Even Terry Henry once laid this point that when he was playing for Barca under Pep, Pep told him that you go to the wing, bring the ball back in, and then someone will lay it off, and you will score or assist. Henry went against Pep's rules, right? Took the ball, dribbled a couple of guys, scored the goal, right? Everyone celebrated. At halftime, Pep took him off, and then everyone was like, "Why?" He's like, "No, he didn't do what I told him to do." In Pep is more than, it's not just about scoring goals, about assisting. It's about following Pep's instructions. And if you don't
Yeah,
follow
I get
Pep's,
that.
so hence I'm saying the thing is, forget about goals and assists when it comes to Pep. The reason why Pep loves Jesus is Jesus, as much as he wasn't the best, he follows what Pep instructs him to do, right? And most of the time he delivers, and that is why if you look, if you go back down the fixture list, almost all the big games in the Premier League, like your Liverpool's, your Chelsea, Jesus
Yeah.
starts over ahead of Sterling, right? So at the end of the day, you can't say no, Sterling deserved to play big games when I don't know when last he delivered in a big game. Right. So at the end of the day, you have to stay
Villa,
balanced. Because
last day,
normally,
big game.
come again.
Villa, last day, big game. How did it not deliver?
He did, but he came off the bench. When you come off the bench, the purpose is to make an impact. And that's what he done. He made an impact. There is no telling that if Sterling started, we would have scored. Because second half, when he came on, the Villa players were more tired, which allowed him to run in. So we have to look at everything as a whole, not just certain things that
Yeah,
we
but Pep
see.
also has the same frustrations with Mahrez as well. You have to remember, like we've seen clips and we've seen during the games, like there's been moments where Pep is just furious and absolutely just yelling and shouting at
I
Mahrez
agree with
during
you.
games.
The
Like it's
thing
not
is,
like Mahrez 100% follows the instructions as well, and
I
it's not like
agree.
he's like tracking. He doesn't track back like as well as Jesus did at times. So you can't tell
I
me that
agree
there's
with
no
you.
problems there either. But at the end of the day,
No.
it does come down to like
Say,
Pep's preference and
say,
obviously what he demands. I get that. I
I'm
get that.
saying
But
you don't have to bring down one player in order to bring up another one. That's my
no,
point.
I'm not though. But I'm just saying like
That is what
it's the same. Pep treats the same for everyone though. Like you're saying Sterling did not deserve it, but I'm just saying like if when Mahrez did start and when even though Mahrez was trusted in every single big game of the season, Pep still had problems with him. Even during those big games, he would be like shouting and yelling at Mahrez like, "Oh, go do this or
yeah.
go do that," and don't lose your man on the counter. Like he would be telling him those things as well. So it's not like one attacker problem versus the other. It's just how he treats his he just very demanding from his players. So that's just how it is. I'm just saying if you have a player with you for 7 years, sometimes a player that's been with you for 7 years wants to believe that you can actually trust him and he wants to be actually given a lot more game time. Not that we have actually got a number 9 in. I think Pep could have easily given him game time guarantees. That's how I feel. I don't
There's
know
a
No,
about
no,
you
question
guys.
here.
no,
Guys,
no.
there's a question here. There's a question here. I'm gonna give it to Certify. Certify. Somebody just asked, Red Devil Studio, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Guys, in the comments, I am picking up comments with questions because there's a lot of comments. I'm sorry. I know I usually read all the comments, but there's about 80 to 190 of you watching, and you're commenting so fast. It's going so fast on this screen. I apologize, guys, in the comments. I'm trying to pick comments and I'm trying my best, but Certified, there's a question here. Will Sterling score more goals than Haaland?
Nah, he won't score more than Haaland, man. I don't. If he scores more than Haaland, then that I don't know.
It's
I
peak,
don't know.
isn't it? It's gonna be peak.
That's peak, man. If he scores more than Haaland, but what I will say about Sterling is that I do think he will score. He'll score probably more goals than. It's very hard. It's very hard to say. I wouldn't say out of the wingers. I think Salah Son might score more, but I think he'll be out of all the wingers in the Premier League. I think he'll be the next one there. He might actually outscore our wingers this season. To be honest, he might outscore our wingers because
He
obviously
usually does. Doesn't he already outscore them while he's at the club?
he
It's
already
only
has-
when
Yeah, he
Mahrez
did.
outscored him.
Both
It's only this
seasons.
season.
No,
Well,
but
yeah.
certified. I think you have to put context in the sense that at Chelsea you won't have as much chances as you have at City.
How do you know that?
I heard the same thing about when he played for England. That he doesn't.
No, I'm
create-
saying chance creation. I'm saying we can
Yeah,
look at
but
chance
bro, they said
creation.
the same
No,
thing.
but there's two ways to look at the chance creation thing. Yeah, the people say the same about Jesus to Arsenal, that he won't have the same chances at Arsenal as he did at City. But you have to remember, if you have a player like Jesus in your team, you also have someone to create for, because that player is always looking for the ball. He's making the runs in behind. He's the sort of the creative outlet. So your creators by default have a bigger outlet to create more. So it goes both ways. It might be that they don't create as many chances, but at the same time, they've added someone who they can create more chances for. Because Sterling, if you look at Sterling, I look at him, for example, like a transition system under Tuchel, and I think this is why he will work very well under Tuchel, is because if he really adopts to Chelsea's system, and if they get the right players in and the right profiles in, imagine Sterling in a transition team, bro. Like those transitions and him making those runs in the half space or just running in behind. That's trouble. That's trouble for a lot of other
You're not
Mm.
teams. But
counting the fact that there will be misses. That there will be misses. The thing is, at City,
of course he'll
Sterling
miss.
may
He's
have
finishing has always been
wait,
suspect, bro.
safe. Wait. What I'm saying is this: at City, Sterling may have 5 chances and score 2, right? At Chelsea, all he may get is 2 or 3 chances.
Yeah.
So hence I'm saying that.
Yeah, but we don't know if he will only get 2 or 3. We don't know that. We'll have to see. Because creativity is something that we can't really predict after he goes into that team, because you have to, because that team is dry as hell right now. If we're going off last season, I can tell you right now, Sterling just won't work at Chelsea. But Chelsea are having a whole sort of different team, next season. So we don't know what their creativity is going to be like. Let's be real about that.
No, safe. The core of the team is still the same. The midfield is still the same, right? What we don't know is the defense. At the moment, the attack is still the same. So now, whenever you're analyzing things, you can go off patterns, right? How did you perform last season, or your last X amount of games? What was the pattern? And the pattern was, most of the times they chance creation falls on their fullbacks. And Chelsea fans have been crying about this the whole season. So we can't pretend as if we weren't here last season to see what Chelsea's concerns were. And so,
of course we know. Of course, I'm telling you, if we're basing it off last season, then I can 100% agree with you that he will struggle in that system, because they don't really create as much as us. No team in the league creates as much chances as us in the league. So it'll be entirely different, and he might only get like 2 to 3 chances, and he misses a couple of them. Like the Chelsea fans, the proper Chelsea, they'll be on his case. So I totally agree with you on that. But at the same time, we cannot 100% predict what their system is going to be like, because they get new signings, and if they get those players in, I expect them to play a lot more attacking brand of football, because they'll have the players to do so. If obviously they limit him, and if they don't use him to his strengths, bro, let's be realistic. You don't care. I don't care. Patrick doesn't care. If I doesn't care. What we really care about is our team, and the fact that we, at the end of the day, we walk away with that, like 3-peat at the end of the season. That's what we care about. But listen, at the end of the day, we all, it's a nice discussion we're having on Sterling. Still, at the end of the day, he was still our player. I get he divides opinions, and I get he's leaving now, but it is what it is. Sometimes a player does come in and he divides opinion, and sometimes it's also the right time for them to leave. So just a consequence of multiple things, consequence of depth as well. I don't think at the same time, as much as I'm trying to make a case, I agree with Don Smoke as well, because being a guarantee starter in a Pep team is not something that any player can really warrant in world football, because he's had some of the greatest ever players to play under him, and they weren't really guaranteed stars. So what's like any of these players? Like Foden is not a guaranteed star, regardless of how good he is. The only two guaranteed starters I can think of in our team is like what, KDB and Edison.
And
So
keep it safe, man. Even Samuel Eto'o, man, he soon left after Pep, obviously for other reasons, but Eto'o even left. A lot of these players that left. So let's just get real about Sterling. Listen, obviously with Don Smoke, I hear what he's trying to say, and I do agree with some of
100%.
it, but I just don't agree with the angle, like to say that Sterling hasn't been good enough because he hasn't, or that he hasn't been as. I don't know what else we would have really wanted to expect from him. I know he's missed a lot of big chances, but I remember Sergio Aguero missed a penalty as well in the Champions League. Obviously, Sergio was much clutch for other things that he did, and obviously Sergio Aguero is the biggest legend that our club has had, or for in my opinion, him or KDB. But
100%, he's the biggest. Yeah.
Certified. Let me. I'm saying it's not. I'm saying I don't want you guys to misunderstand me. I'm not saying that Sterling is not good enough, right? My point is, when I'm saying that good enough, I'm saying to be guaranteed a starting place under a Pep team.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. I understand you.
Statement. Not that he's not good. At the end of the day, we all appreciate what Sterling has done. And I don't think, at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. Like, those numbers are there. But at the end of the day, numbers don't tell a full story. Anyone who's done stats will tell you that.
100%. I totally agree.
Let me give you an example, right? I could be doing a research on let's say, for example, which I don't want to put it deep. Like, let's say which club is the most successful club. But my time frame, I put it over 5 years, and I say that City is the most successful club. My statement is right based on my constraint, right? But that doesn't mean that City has been the hence I'm saying numbers can mislead if you don't have the full context at hand. Sterling has produced a lot of moments that I think will go part of the club's history, and we can never belittle him for that. But now the thing is, your ambition has to match what you deliver as well. Else you come off as a dreamer, right? And that's just life as a whole. That's why I gave you that job and analogy and work. Like, as much as you may have potential, it has to be realized with full, because people will only tolerate potential for so long. Eventually, they're like, okay, big man, where's the output to justify the big talk? And if you can't mess that year in, year out, like, you shouldn't be guaranteed a spot in the team based on how long on how long you've been. Else, even Fernandinho last season was asking, like, hey, I think I'm good enough to play, and ask the fans, be like, no, you're not as good as you've been for the club, but you don't have the legs anymore. And we saw it was evident whenever he was on the pitch. We struggled, right? And
obviously that was an age thing, though.
Yeah, but so the age and performance. But now I'm saying age and performance, because you can be old, but if you're still performing, then it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair, Don Smoke, I'll say that, but the thing, I've seen the comment just in the comments before about have we seen Chelsea play. At the end of the day, and the thing is with Chelsea, people are acting like this team is like I don't even know, like Norwich, like this team can't create. At the end of the day, man, these guys are still very, very good players. And I remember before Chilwell was injured, Chelsea could create for fun from both flanks. They were creating, they were doing their thing. They were even comparing their fullbacks to Robertson and Trent. Chelsea fans will even cut.
Yeah, it was gone mad.
So those guys, they were creating. Mason Mount, Money Mace. Obviously, you had the other guys there, Jorginho doing this thing. And now people are saying that there's no creators. At the end of the day, if you give those chances that Pulisic, that Ziyech, that Werner missed, especially Werner, if you give those chances to Sterling, I think just the back post tapping. If you need somebody just to be there at the back post, he'll be there. And the thing is, what people realize with Sterling, people might think that Sterling doesn't create chances, but he creates chances by being in the box for himself. A lot of players aren't making the runs that Sterling's going to make into the box. A lot of
He's
players.
excellent at exploiting space as well, because
Exactly.
that allows for chance creation from other people in the team. So
Mahrez had to, over time, Mahrez became like, I remember when Mahrez, his first couple of seasons, he wasn't really a gunman in front of goal. His couple of seasons when he came in, this guy, I was looking at Mahrez and he wasn't really as much as a goal threat. But then over time, now he's become the Mahrez that we know, Champions League Mahrez, a goal threat. And if you need a player like that's going to be there, it's going to be with Sterling. There's no better player in our team, right? Apart from Haaland, before Haaland, last season, there was no better player that arriving at the box than Sterling, De Bruyne, and Gundogan. Those three players that arriving into the box. There's no other players that was on that level when arriving to the box. So,
and to be fair, like none of our finishers have been clinical, so we can't even say like he was the one who wasn't clinical or whatever, because it was like a collective sort of problem and it was never really solved. But at the end of the day, as Don said, like obviously 7 years time, if 2 seasons did not go well from the 5, fair enough, we have to, respect him and appreciate him for what he done. But at the same time, when the levels drop, you need to sort of evolve and move on. And I think that's what's happening at the club, because you have to remember the way we've been functioning for the past few years, especially, has been very ruthless. If Sergio Aguero, perfectly capable, I know he had that heart issue after going to Barcelona, but that's also only hindsight. I'm just saying, like, if he at 33 could not get a new contract at Man City and he's our biggest legend and he could have easily stayed for another season at the club, then, respectfully, Sterling was never going to be that guy either. And same goes for Jesus. Same goes for Nathan Ake. Same goes for Zinchenko if he decides to go this summer. So I get the ruthlessness part. I get it. At the end of the day, it's sort of football, and football doesn't really, wait for.
I'm saying, safe. The path which most people don't talk about, address, is the wages that Sterling was on. Now the thing is this, right?
No, we addressed that. I addressed that. He was on 300K per week.
No. Let me put context into it so you understand when I'm talking about it, right? He's on 300,000 a week, second best player, right? Now the thing is, when you give him a new contract, you can't give him lower than what he's on. Now you must understand that you have other players in the team, right, who are like, they're waiting to see what happens, because how much, because what happens there determines determines the tune for other players. It's more like, okay, for the past
No, I get in terms of like upsetting the wage structure and everything. Listen, I get that, but at the end of the day, you have to understand, the club was actually happy. No, the club was actually happy to give him a new deal. It was him. It was Sterling that decided that because he's not getting guaranteed game time, that was his sole reason of deciding to go to Chelsea. So money wasn't the issue. We were giving him the money that he was asking for. It was just that we were not giving him the game time that he was asking for. So money wasn't even the issue. But I do get your point in saying that
the money has come out to put 3,000K, isn't it? So safe. The money's the same.
But at the same time, like I totally get Don's point, because if you start giving Sterling 350K or 375K per week, the same money as De Bruyne, there's gonna be players in the squad that are gonna look at it different, bro. There's gonna be problems, because people are gonna be like, Mahrez is now due a new contract. You'll be like, what's this guy done more than me in the past couple seasons to earn that wage, and I can't get that? Like, so I get there's create problems, and this is why I talk about the ruthlessness of it all. We have to be ruthless, and I think that from a footballing perspective and the club's perspective, it's the right decision, right time. So you have to take the emotion out of it when you look at it that way. But obviously, we're fans, so emotion is sort of natural. You get used to seeing the players for so many years at your club. It's natural to just have the emotional connection to it.
Yeah, there's a comment here. Somebody say Chelsea got to the final with 8 players and 9 players not even there, but they were struggling to score. So maybe that's why Raheem is going to Chelsea. Then here says Chelsea created chances. The problem was finishing. So it looks like Chelsea they create, but they couldn't finish the dinner.
They never really had a mad problem about creativity. It was about the finishing of chances, because Lukaku was a truck. He couldn't move. Havertz not really a reliable finisher. Same as Pulisic, same as Werner, same as all of them. So fair enough if they add Sterling. He's not a reliable finisher either, but he helps the chance creation, and also what he might help is he might allow for a lot of tap-ins. And if they get the right players around him, he will 100% cook. But with all due respect to the Chelsea fans, I couldn't give a fuck what he does at your club because I don't care. Once he's yours, he's yours. The discussions we are having about him is his time at City and what he's done for us, and we're very grateful for that. That's all there is. Now that he's gone to another
Yeah.
club, I honestly could not care.
Yeah, it's time to split. Look, sometimes it's good to split up. It's good to split up with somebody. Somebody says compare Sterling to Mahrez. Mahrez, the dude who sent City to their first UCL final. Mahrez also. Okay. Okay. Third
So
top
what are we
scorers
doing,
in
man?
the.
Nah, let's not do that. It's at the end of the day, we did mention that Mahrez carried us, but did we not? We said about the PSG game, right?
Yeah,
The
we did.
Mahrez
Yeah.
carried us in a PSG game.
Then we also said that he's also had his own time where he also like everybody has made mistakes in
I
our
think
team.
everyone has
in the
acknowledged that
UCL.
he's been the best winger at the club
Yeah.
for the past 2 seasons. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any disrespect to it, Mahrez. I think we're just having a
Yeah.
comparison because these were the 2 players competing for a spot, and we're just saying like obviously the manager has different expectations from either player, and some are treated differently, and that's just how it is. There's no
And say
disrespect
if
to any of these.
I can say this with my chest out that if it was Mahrez leaving, we could have also been having a conversation here. People are saying, "Oh, but Raheem has clocked better numbers than him." You know what I mean? People would have switched on Mahrez too.
Yeah,
So
you know, it actually looked
like,
like this summer that Mahrez could
what
be
is
the
what
one
is
to leave. Like if Mahrez was leaving right now, I promise you, people's tone will be entirely different. So it's just the nature of football fans, man.
Bro, if
Jennifer, you're being quiet. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. I was just gonna say if Morris leaves today, what you'd see would our fans would give him more of a send off than what we've seen for the day for Sterling. That's all what I'll
Yeah.
say. All I'm gonna say is that I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed in the fan base for the way they've treated Sterling going out. I'm gonna wish him luck. And to be fair, you know, I look at a lot of fan bases and something. And I don't see too many, and even I don't see too many teams when they've had an influence like Raheem Sterling, when they've had a player like Raheem Sterling, give the disrespect the way that I've seen us give the fan base give Sterling. I remember Mane leaving Liverpool recently. The amount of respect I've seen towards Liverpool fans for Mane. So it's so disappointing, man, seeing this because for me, it's like a bitter, it's like a bitter ending.
Yeah.
The thing
It's
is,
like,
even
with Don
I'm saying,
Smoke,
yes.
with Don Smoke, this is with Don Smoke. I agree with some of the stuff that he's saying. So this isn't towards him, you know. Don Smoke has said he's gave his opinion. So this isn't to Don Smoke. This is
Yeah, but
just,
he's made valid points. He's actually having a discussion. The problem I have is with the fans who are just rubbing out his career and be like, "Oh, this is a fucking snake," or he doesn't deserve the respect, or he can go, he's a bad player, da da da, this and that. That's the revisionism when it's terrible. That's what I don't like. When we can actually have rational conversations, like me and G75 here and Patrick's channel when we're discussing with Don Smoke, he's coming with arguing factors and arguing points that actually make sense. So that when we can have an actual discussion and discuss something and actually argue over it, it's a healthy discussion and a healthy argument is beneficial. But my problem is when the fans are just entirely just calling him a snake and just be like, "Oh no, he's shit," or "he's this," or "he's that." That's just don't do that, man. Like we are better than that. At the end of the day, if we don't respect our own, like it's not a good look on us, bro. It's simple as that. It's literally not a good look on us. People from the outside look at these things, bro, and it does matter because people from the outside looking in, when they look at us and they see like our player like Raheem Sterling, if he's given zero respect from our fans going out the way he is, fair enough, even if it's Chelsea, but we are happy to sell to Chelsea. So it's clearly a club decision. It's not like he's ripped up his contract and just, said like, listen, I'm going to Chelsea. That's been my club forever. And I'm going to join Chelsea tonight and fuck you, see. Like he's not done that. He's gone in a respectful manner. So I think we have to do the same and just send him off respectfully and wish him well for his future. I don't think we genuinely care of how he does at Chelsea. Most of us literally do not have any sort of care for what Chelsea do or achieve in their season. So it is what it is.
is it? That's the thing. What I said before, guys in the comments. Thank you for thank you. Keep watching, keep liking the vid. We're gonna close in a few minutes, but keep liking the vid. There's about 65 of you like the vid. Like the vid. I see now we're getting to 50. Like the vid. I'm the businessman here, the one who was looking for likes. Anyway, I'm joking. Anyway, what I was about to say, I'm saying like for him, as I said before earlier on, for guys who missed it, he could have screwed us over. I have seen players do it before. He could have sat there and said, "Okay,
Easy.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here." But also, City, if they decided to play border police and say you're not going anywhere, do you know what he could have done? He could have said, "Ah, it's calm. Okay, I'll sit here." You know what? He could have sat on that bench and safe and certified and done. Certified and safe said before saying January he could have signed for another club and got a very high sign-on fee. By the way,
Yeah.
he could have got a very, very high sign-on fee, but he did. I think he went to the club. Him and the club agreed. Somebody said it was actually at the beginning of June. They already had
Patrick.
spoken at the beginning of May. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Put it this way, yeah, like put it simply, he could have been on the bench for this whole season because his World Cup spot is not in jeopardy. Yeah, it's like he could be on the bench from now till the start of September, October. Yeah,
And still play the World Cup.
he will still go to the World Cup and he will start every single game alongside Harry Kane because those two are the two names that just won't get dropped for England. That's just Southgate's plans. Those are his boys. He depends on them. Yeah. So put it this way, like he could have been sitting on the bench, been sort of like a rebel and just been on 300k per week. At the end of the day, if we needed him, like fair enough, he come on. But if he's not really performing, not really doing anything, it's a loss for us. And then we're also losing the same player on 300k on a free. So I told you the financials before. Not only have we sold him for 50 million pounds, we have saved from the next year. We've saved about 63 million pounds in terms of his wages just alone. So we're saving over 100 million pounds just because of Sterling leaving this summer. So in terms of the business side of things, I think it's excellent from City, and I think they have a lot of mutual respect with Sterling. Sterling acknowledges that it's time for him to move on. The club acknowledges it, and I think it's been done the right way. So that's all I have to say. I think I've also got to go now, so I really appreciate
that's calm, man. Thank you for coming on, Safe, man. Now, hopefully, we will have you more. Thank you for coming on, man. So, yeah, guys, that's Safe. You can follow him on Twitter. He does spaces also. Any certified and done? Do you have anything else to say before we close up?
Nah, that's been it, man. It's been actually just subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to Patrick. He's excellent for hosting these live streams. I tune in a couple times as well whenever I'm free and I'm able to. So please do it, man. Like the video as well. So big up Patrick. Big up Patrick.
Big up to you, man. Big up to you. Big up to you. More respect.
I want to give Cheeky, our director of football, a shout out, man. I feel as if the business of being able to sell two players who are going to the final year of the contract for around 50
million each. Yeah.
Right. That's some very good business.
Incredible business.
Because most teams will lowball you and be like, no, you know what? We're gonna pay half, or it's fine, or we'll just wait for 6 months and sign a pre-contract. So I think, and hence I salute Sterling as well. As I said from the beginning, he's professional. I've never doubted his professionalism, and by him being able to do this move shows that he is professional. Put ego and emotions aside, and sit and be like, no, what's the best way forward, and let's solve it. Because as Safe said, most players will be like, you know what, screw you guys. I'm not going to my neck into the last 6 months, and I'll even get a signing on bonus. Because he could have gotten something like this as a signing on bonus, like 20-30, straight into his pocket. But he didn't. So I think we have to give him respect for what he's done. So at the end of the day, when it comes to farewells, I feel that's where you have to be professional. Put emotions. At the end of the day, we are human beings. A player will make mistakes, will miss. Put all. It's like it's almost like a funeral. You go there and you what you say is what you're gonna miss.
Yeah, you put all your agendas behind, isn't it? I hate those people who come to the funeral and start gossiping about like bad stuff where somebody did. Like, give respect. I want to answer this. Says Patrick, the thing worrying me is that if we lose Ake, then we won't have black players in the first team. No, it's all good, man. It's calm. That has nothing to do with life. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yeah, we have Phillips, man. Phillips is half black. That's enough black for me. Walker and other people. Don't worry about that. That has nothing to do with you. You never know that another brother is gonna walk in. We're all good. We're all calm, man. Mbete signed a 5-year contract. Mbete might come through. Kaiki, Jack, who's tier 1 City, says Kaiki, or KK, or whatever you call him. Is it Kaiki?
Yeah,
Delap and Makiti are going to have the chance to play for the first team. So Kaiki is a brother. So look, don't worry about representation. And we're all here at the end of the day, guys. Yeah, let go of that. That's suspicious. The allegations that Pep is yet to answer. Don't worry about that. It's so good out here. So guys, Patrick, do you guys realize that we saw players worth more than 200 million this season? Wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So shout out to Tiki, man. Shout out to Tiki. So guys, man, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Raheem, okay. Raheem has done well for us. I just look at the stats on Twitter. What he has done is amazing. Not a lot of players at City have done that for City. And look, give him his flowers, give the man his flowers. Those tap-ins helped us. Those goals from outside the box, Southampton helped us. Bournemouth helped us. Don't forget recently Newcastle when Cancelo bent the ball. Remember Newcastle was so stubborn until Raheem made that run, and that's when we opened up Newcastle's cheeks. So Raheem did well for us. And if you want to see the importance of Raheem, I want you to go see the time when City this season were struggling a bit, then Raheem came back on form. He took us from being second to first position. Am I wrong? As soon as Raheem had form.
Yeah. And also, please do not forget the Liverpool game at the Etihad when the title was on the line in 18-19. He was the guy who assisted Leroy Sané for the winning goal.
Yeah, he did. There's a question here. Okay, so City have signed Phillips, they've signed Ortega, that's a keeper, and they have signed Haaland, and they've signed Alvarez. All these signings, Matt Flex, they're going to be shown at the Etihad tomorrow. I don't know what time it is, but they're going to show them at the Etihad.
1:45, I've just seen, bro. 1:45.
Yeah, 1:45, though. They're going to show all the signings. Daniel, great stream. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Daniel. But you go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, quickly, just to big up the comments, man. Big up everybody in the building, man. Big up to you guys, because, listen, man, it's been a good stream, man. Getting the comments flowing, man. Next time we'll be back. You know, we'll have Gundalorian, he'll be back. Veta will be here. So, man, obviously, happy birthday to Gundalorian's, obviously, daughter as well. So,
Gundo, happy birthday to your daughter, man. I hope she has a beautiful birthday. I know you as the father, you've already spoiled her today. So amazing. Guys, I would like to thank all of you in the comments. I apologize. I didn't get to read all the comments, but all of you, the usual guys, McLavin, Daniel, Big Morgan, Charlie, Centurion, all you guys, everybody, Zulu Warrior, all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. For the past few days, you've shown us love. About 100 of you are coming on the live stream. I don't know where you're coming from, but I appreciate it. Keep coming, get involved. We'll always get involved. And I always have people on the panel. All of them are fans. Don't smoke. People are saying you came out here and kept it real. Certified. Somebody also said you kept it real, safe. All of you guys are being bigged up. You guys have actually spoken some facts. We all had our opinions. Don't smoke, as it's always a pleasure. Certified, always a pleasure. And safe, shout out to you. Veta, shout out to you. Go to Veta Games and subscribe. Guys, like the vid. It's free to like the vid. You don't have to pay anything to like the vid. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're new, so that we can get to 1K. And then we can start talking. Mercedes-Benz. I'm joking. So thank you very much, guys. From me, Don't Smoke. Do you have anything to say before we go, Mr. Don't Smoke?
No, not really. Just shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to the panel. Yeah,
big up, done, man. Big up.
Yeah, big up. So, guys, because some of you guys are liking this intro, Certified. A lot of people are saying the intro is fire. So, I'm going to leave you with the intro as we go. So.
Malawi, I'm boy.